You have proposed a constitutional ban for gay marriage. You have some co-sponsors, but you'd have to admit that it seems that the flow of history now, the Supreme Court and others are sort of working against you, working against the politics of what you're trying to advocate. Do you not think that's true?
Well, our founders made it extraordinarily difficult to amend the Constitution, and that's what we're going to try to do. And yes, you look at this decision, it's outrageous what the court did. They've taken upon themselves to rewrite the Constitution, and this would make it very clear to them, but suggest it can't be done. If you look at the issue of life and abortion, actually we're moving in that direction where most Americans oppose most abortions. And so by that same argument, we should be looking very closely at ending abortion in this country or something close to that.
What is it that you have against gays and lesbians marrying?
Well, this issue here is the definition of marriage. For centuries in this country and elsewhere around the world, and every major world religion has identified marriage as between a man and a woman, and that's the simple issue here. And as Senator DeMint did note, the research is very clear that the ideal for raising our children should be the issue here, and that's what we need to focus on in this debate.
Right, but Justice Kennedy speaks to this. There's also research that indicates everybody talks about the interests of children. Children tend to prosper in loving, in homes where there is a loving marriage, right? I mean, there is really not evidence to suggest that if you are a same-sex couple or a heterosexual couple, that it makes one difference one way or the other.
Well, actually, the research does not show that. Actually, the research is very clear, as we have indicated here. But what the court
but let's everybody throws that out. In fact, no. The research actually shows that in broken homes, it hurts the children, which I think most people would say that would be true with same-sex couples or heterosexual couples. We don't really know, do we? But we do have a sense that loving marriages provides a good family life for children, right?
Well, we have an epidemic of fatherlessness here, and that's what I agree with the president on, and we should be doing more to promote and protect marriage as between a man and a woman for the needs of our children. In this decision, the desires of adults, the court decided the desires of adults should trump the needs of children, and that's what's gotten lost in all the politics, all the debate, all the hand-wringing in Washington, D.C.
But Justice Kennedy has weighed in heavily on that point. I do want to ask you a political question and give you kind of the two ends within the Republican debate about how to treat this issue. Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas, tweeted this out on Wednesday. My thoughts on the SCOTUS ruling that determined that same-sex marriage is okay. Quote, Jesus wept. Seeming to reflect that part of the conservative party, the faith-based part. And David Kochel, who's an Iowa-based Republican operative, worked for Mitt Romney's campaign, supports gay marriage, wrote the following. All right, this is how Politico reported on him. Iowa-based Republican strategist Kochel, a former Mitt Romney advisor who supports gay marriage, shrugged at conservative vows to dig in against the court. However intensely conservatives may oppose same-sex marriage, Kochel said, the country is witnessing an inexorable march of progress on the freedom to marry. There will be people who want to roll back the clock, who want to continue this fight over and over again. Kochel said, there will be a lot of sound and fury, but I don't think it's going to amount to a whole lot over time. Why don't you believe this debate is over that Republicans are having?
Well, because for the American people, it's not over. This court attempted to short-circuit the democratic process. But what you're hearing from these professional consultants who have lost election after election, by the way, these folks have always wanted us to go light and to abandon our positions on social issues. As I mentioned earlier, there are more folks today that are opposed to abortion than support homosexual marriage. And but the real issue here is who gets to decide? Do 5 justices get to decide, or do the American people get to decide, or do some consultants in Washington, D.C. get to decide? At the end of the day, I'm going to go with the 7 million Californians who had their votes discarded by this court.
Tim Huelskamp, Congressman from Kansas, thank you very much for your time this morning. I appreciate it.